But tests tell us who we are on the inside. But here's the fifth principle of storms. You don't ever face storms alone. You don't face storms alone. I'm always mystified by people who ignore the people of God, and then they get in trouble and they want people to be with them. See, when you're a pastor, here's the kind of thing you hear. Someone will come up to you and say, well, I've been to church and no one was a friend of me. You know, I went to church, you know, and I went through a crisis and no one cared for me. And I went to church and I had a problem and no one reached out to me. And I look at him and I said, okay, let me just ask you this question. Who have you looked out for who was having a problem? Who have you looked out for who was going through difficult times? I said, I don't want to sound wrong to you, but you don't get what you don't plant. And we have a lot of people who want to harvest that have ignored being an active part of being a church member. And you don't get to ignore being an active part of being a church member and then have the church rally around you. Now, does the church reach out to people we don't know? For sure we do. But the investment you make in life is you help everyone you can, every way you can, whenever you can. And you know what? When you get in crisis, you won't be alone. But there's a sixth principle, and I know you've listened to my stories, and some of you are sitting there thinking, if he's on the plane, I'm getting off. I think it's safer not being on the same plane with him. I think it'd be better off to just let Gerald fly by himself. I'm not getting on the plane with him. But can I tell you something? My plane's always getting where it's going. And I don't say that because there's some magic that I possess. It's because I know who's on the plane with me. And maybe I'm not mentally alert enough to know that I should be screaming and yelling during all of these events. But long before I got on that plane, I prayed. Long before I got on that plane, I prayed Isaiah 54:17. No weapon that's formed against us prospers. I've prayed that the angels of the Lord have charge over us and they keep us and they watch us and they protect us and no evil or plague will befall us. And really what I'd say to you is the safest plane to be on is to be on my plane because I know who else is on my plane.